International Journal of Health Policy and Management. Quality and speed are our culture and the keys to our success. Welcome to the audio summary section of the International Journal of Health Policy and Management.
Good morning, dear friends. This is Ed Schein talking to you from California, where I'm in my library in my retirement home. I would like to talk to you briefly about the issue of whistleblowing and upward communication. In the recent article by Mannion and Davies, I was struck by the fact that we both want to know more about what's going on in organizations and at the same time lament the problem of the whistleblower who maybe makes too big a deal of it and has a lot of personal agendas. I think organizations generally operate from the principle that responsible people in important jobs should report problems that they see at their level to the people higher up. But unfortunately, in almost all the organizations that I've ever looked at, this upward communication does not happen for two particular reasons. If what you see as a safety hazard or a problem is occurring among your peers, the norms of, as they put it, not ratting on them, not calling out your colleagues, is very strong. You tend to want to fix it at your level. You don't want to tell your boss if you're Dr. A that you see Dr. B consistently doing something wrong. So that's one reason why we don't get good upward communication. The other reason is that it's just intrinsically difficult to tell your boss because you may have had a history of trying to do that one time and the boss wasn't interested. Or you told the boss and they said, yes, we'll take care of it, but nothing ever happened. Or even worse, the boss says, don't bring me problems unless you have a solution. It's in the nature of hierarchy to be impatient with negative upward information. This is why the Caliph of Baghdad had to put on beggar's clothes and go down into the city of Baghdad in the Arabian Nights to find out what was really going on because his ministers wouldn't tell him. So if we assume that upward communication is intrinsically difficult, the only solution that I see in the long run is managers have to create a better climate for subordinates to feel psychologically safe, to report things that are safety hazards or that are quality hazards in the way the work is done. And so I think it's ultimately even the CEO's responsibility to create that climate for his immediate subordinates by systematically being interested in what's going on at their level, by asking them humble inquiry kinds of questions, what's going on, and most importantly, learning to be a very good listener so that whatever they have to tell him, he will pay close attention and hear it and try to deal with it. So for me, the problem of whistleblowing and upward communication all boils down to from the CEO on down, the boss has to create a different kind of climate, a climate that makes subordinates feel psychologically safe and become a much more sympathetic and willing listener, and even engage in joint problem solving with the subordinates to see what can be done. It's not enough for the boss to say, I hear you and I'll deal with it. I think the boss and the subordinate have to sit down, and I'm again saying this has to start at the CEO level, and say, we've got a problem here, let's work this out together. What needs to be done to fix it? So let's not worry so much about wishing that subordinates were more courageous and more open, and let's put the focus squarely on where it belongs, that the CEO has to begin to treat his subordinates differently, and they in turn have to treat their subordinates differently right down the line, so that everyone feels more psychologically safe to tell what's really going on. Only then will we get the information on the basis of which we can fix problems that are creating safety or quality issues. Thanks very much for listening to me, and goodbye.